This is a webinar on mastering CephX AI tools, different features and options we have within the system, both for existing users and for newcomers. My name is Danny Abraham. I am the founder and CEO of CephX. With us, we also have Irit, who's the customer success manager and help facilitate this meeting. So welcome everybody and thank you for joining. Let me just see who's online. Okay, I think we can get going and start presenting. Before we do, Irit, is there anything you want to say or can we go ahead?
Please go ahead.
Okay,
Very
great.
good.
Okay. As I said, mastering CephX AI tools, a little bit about the company and today's agenda. So today we want to deepen the understanding and maximize the ability to use the CephX tools. We want to explore some of the more advanced 2D features and best practices. We'll give some time to discover the latest 3D additions and innovations and features that we've added, including advanced AI segmentation, IOS and CBCT stitching, our AI DICOM viewer, and our Airway volume 3D visualizer and analysis. So all of these will be covered. Basically, what we want to start with is actually the 2D features. So the 2D features are more obvious, the Ceph analysis, Ceph tracing, and different features we have within that scope. So again, the automated Ceph tracing, then some of the 3D features that we have. We are just a little bit about the company. We've been around for, wow, many years, almost 30 years, actually more than 30 years. And within this AI scope, we've been around for 8 years, pretty much the pioneers of AI in dentistry. We are FDA cleared. We are integrated with a lot of PMSs, labs, imaging centers, imaging devices like Planmeca, Sirona, Cephala, and so on. We have a set of patents. We have our own huge data set, and basically we're very focused on orthodontics and leading the way in orthodontics in general. With regards to providing services. So without further ado, let's discuss a little bit about some of the 3D features that we've added and how they tie into cephalometric analysis. Okay, so I have got my screen shared already. And what I want to show you now is the entry point into most of record keeping in orthodontics is obviously uploading images. Now, with our system, you can decide if you want to only upload a Ceph or if you want to upload your whole image gallery. What's new about what we provide is that we automatically detect the types of images that you upload. So you don't have to go to your camera and put the images in a specific order or have to label images. This is a Ceph and this is a pan and this is an intraoral. You just basically select the images and the system will do this for you automatically using AI. So the best way to explain this is to demonstrate it. So adding a new patient, okay, is quite simple. And again, if we have integrations, and we do have many integrations, these data entry points are redundant. We don't need them. We know how to hop directly from the patient in the PMS or in the imaging system directly to the to our system. So now we're going to choose image gallery because that's what we want to upload. And we're gonna just take a bunch of existing images. Okay. Right. So these, let's assume these are the images for this patient. I know there's some images here which are duplicated, like there's a few of them, but it doesn't really matter as far as the system is concerned. It knows how to recognize each type. So as you can see on the top here, it's by default labeled auto detection, which means that the minute when I hit save, it's going to figure out each image type as it uploads it, which type it is. In fact, what it's actually what's actually in the image. And again, this is using AI. And this spares you guys the time of having to input all the data. One of the good things about this is that the labeling and templating is kind of done automatically for you. So once it's uploaded, it's already figured out which image is which. So for example, if we hover over this, we know that this is the intraoral left. If we hover this over this, it figured out that this is a profile. And this is a frontal image. And this is a Ceph. And this is a panoramic image, and so on and so forth. We can directly go to the gallery, and what you get is a prepared gallery. So we didn't have to do anything for this. We just uploaded the images, and it figured out which image is which, and it kind of stuck them in the gallery automatically. So usually this is a bit of a headache of a task. And again, it's a good demonstration of how AI takes away a bunch of the headache and allows you just to create your mosaic or templates with no effort. And then you can export this gallery to a JPEG or to a PDF or to a PowerPoint, or even save it as an image. It doesn't really matter. This happens automatically. Of course, you have the option to go in and say, well, I want to edit the image here, and I want to resize it. And you can play around with some of the, brightness and contrast and rotate it and so on. There's a lot of different things you can do. But the point is that this is all available. So we have all the bells and whistles, but the idea is to have it automatically. I think if we export it, we'll go back to the image gallery. Okay. So that actually, let me go back to templates, because I just want to show one other thing, is that we have also a template builder, and you can have many, many templates, or as many as you want, and you can build your own templates and layouts and so on. And we have a whole template management system to add or edit or kind of change templates. But again, the point is that once the images have been labeled automatically, it doesn't matter which template you choose, it will automatically populate the template according to the images that it's found. So again, you can change around templates, and it will automatically place the images it detected. And remember, I didn't have to label anything here. The system did it on its own. So that's regarding the template. I think just to show that as here's a PDF file of that same template. Okay, so this was automatically created. And again, same for PowerPoint and same for all the other export options we have. There's a few other features here. You can add horizontal and vertical lines for alignment. And you can also upload images directly from here if you want to add more images. Just makes it easier and quicker. But as far as image management, that is kind of the easy way to access and control the images. If we go back to the image gallery, which is basically just a collection of all the images you've uploaded, you can see that on the Ceph, we already have the tracing done. So if we click that little tracing icon, we will go to the tracing screen immediately. So the tracing's already been done. Now we're just going to the screen where we can edit the tracing if we want. And this is a whole full section of being able to edit tracing, edit the landmarks, move around different features. We have a bunch of features here that allows you to view structures, for example. We can show and hide the T. We can edit the image. We can invert the image. There's just a bunch of different things that you can do. One of the things that also happens automatically is a profile. So wait, let me save my changes. And the profile, since we also uploaded a profile image and it recognized it automatically, it also overlaid the tracing on the profile. So now any analysis we want is also existing or available on the profile. We have, this allows me to talk a little bit about the analysis section. Let me just see if I'm not getting ahead of myself. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, so I've kind of skipped to the profile, but you can always go back to the tracing page and view the different tracings. Note that we also have the ability to customize the scale. So part of the AI also recognizes the scale and creates a scaling mechanism for you. But if you want, you can edit it with this scale bar that is kind of added, and you can move it around and stretch it and so on. So that's another option that we have within the system. What else do we have? We have different filters if you want to play around with, again, inverting and brightness and contrast. We have an image editor, so if you want to play around with the actual image and start editing and there's all kinds of flip and crop and rotation and annotation and drawing stuff and text and so on. Pretty standard image editor. But that's if you want to edit specifically the Ceph image or any other image. We also have a new side-by-side comparison tool. So if you want to take two images and compare them side by side, it's possible. Not sure why that happened. Let's take. Okay, so now you can see two images compared side by side, and we can export these, and we can also download these, or we can save them as another image in our gallery. So for example, if we go back to the image gallery, now what we'll see is an extra image has been added, which is this one. So going back to the tracing, the next part is, well, you've got a bunch of different tools here. You've got sketching tool if you just want to measure distance between 2 points. You've got overlay tool, which allows you to kind of drag and drop the image and correct the whole kind of outline as a whole. You got the ability, again, as I showed before, to edit landmarks or look at the point locator. If we want to see up close, we can really see here on the right, kind of zoom in of what's going on. So there's a bunch of different features here, which are quite standard. Again, we emphasize the AI part, the fact that this all happened immediately and automatically with no necessary point input. And with the option to correct and add anything you may want to. So that's regarding tracing. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Yeah, so of course, one important part here is the analysis, and you can get to the analysis page directly from here. So this is the analysis download screen, so to speak. So it will give you all the hundreds of types of analyses that we have. And actually, we have hundreds in your screen. We have thousands in the system because over the years, there's been so many different types and disciplines that have been built. We have a full and very elaborate analysis builder. So if one wants to build their own analysis, or you can even ask us to build your analysis and we can do that for you. But just to give a quick example, you can choose any analyses you want to, download them. The default type is PDF, but there's a bunch of different types as well. You can download them as a JPEG image and a PowerPoint, and even just if you want just the numbers, CSV kind of Excel layout of the numbers for research reasons. And then if we open that up, then what we see is a collection of the analyses that we've chosen. And of course, you can also take the analyses and put them on the profile. I think we have a profile analysis. Okay, so here's an example of a profile. And again, this is the default format is PDF. So we've got this analysis and we automatically overlaid on the profile. Again, so to consider the amount of work done in order to achieve this image, which is very presentable to the patient, or if we want, we can have different images. This is all very, very easy to achieve. You didn't have to tell it which image. You didn't have to tell it that it's a Ceph or a profile. You didn't have to put in the landmarks. Just the initial maybe choice of analyses that you like, and that's it. And pretty much the rest is a click away. So that is regarding the 2D. Oh, sorry. One last thing. Superimposition. Superimposition is another important feature. Again, at any point, instead of adding a patient, you can say, I want to add a stage. So I want to add the same patient, but I want a different stage in treatment. And that, you've got this little X here, which allows you to see how many stages are under the same patient. So we can see only one stage. And what we can do is go to the superimposition. And it's very similar to the trace screen. And I will show in a second what that means. But the point is, it takes two different images of the patient and it overlays them. And it gives you, again, this superimposition. And here you can decide which image you want in the background. Do you want the later stage or do you want the earlier stage? And of course, there can be scale differences and all kinds of issues. So you can basically, if you wanted to, you could play around with the scaling of the image. Let's just reset it. And you can also overlay on different landmarks and different planes. So you can select the alignment to be like the center S, and these are different predetermined alignments. So we can add it on Pagonion orbital on Pagonion. So it will realign, and now it's on the Porion, and on the plane of Pagonion Porion. So these two planes will be, Porion to Pagonion. So these two planes will be adjacent. Let's give another example. Okay, we can align it to the Nasion, and then the Nasion-Basion line will be the alignment. So the nasion has been aligned, and the actual line alignment will be the nasion to basion. Of course, you can create your own custom alignments and save them and make that the default alignment. So that's always an option. And you've got the different tools here for a lot of customers in Asia, Japan, Korea. We've also got the profilogram overlay. So if you want to look at that, that's also an option. It's a bit of a different outline and overview. And at the end of the day, you can generate a report. So if you want a report with the different areas, so you have the full face superimposition, just the maxilla and just the mandible, and you can decide which layouts you want on each. So it doesn't have to be the same layout. SI interface means superimposition interface, which is this main image. The maxilla is ANS PNS on PNS, and the mandible is gonion menton on gonion. I think this is probably a typo here. And we can see the different stages, the pre-treatment 12-year-old and the post-treatment 14-year-old. And once we download the report, we will should get a PDF. And here you can see the report layout as we chose it. You've got the pre-treatment in blue at the age of 12 and the post-treatment at the age of 14 in red. You've got the different alignments of maxilla, mandible, full face. And yeah, you can play around with it, and you have all the options to be able to get different superimpositions. By the way, you can even save the superimposition report again to the image gallery. Everything can be saved to the image gallery. And if I'm not mistaken, we have a profilogram report, then I think it also shows the superimposition in the profilogram view. Right. So there's a bit of a different report. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about some 3D stuff. So CephX is the first one to have built an engine to basically provide a segmentation of a CBCT. So you can upload a CBCT image and you have a full online DICOM viewer with an automated segmentation. And that is all done automatically. The best way to show it is to go into the segmentation. Okay. So this was a DICOM that was uploaded. Yeah, wow. Taking time with the internet. Again, depending on the connection speed, it can load within like basically 2 seconds, or it can embarrass me and take a little longer, but it really depends on your internet connection. Okay, so what you're seeing here is basically a segmented CBCT. And actually what you're seeing is a segmented CBCT and IOS. I'll explain about the IOS, but first let me start with the CBCT. So we're going to take away everything, and what you can see here, these are segmented routes from the CBCT, automatically generated. So you didn't really have to do anything. You just, again, upload your CBCT. You got a lot of different viewing options. So you can also select any tooth and kind of view it up close. And then you've got all kinds of different features. And the point is here, each individual image or individual object is something that you can view, play around with, change, update, and really get a feel for what's going on. So if we go back to the bone, You can see that the bone is also fully segmented. Just going to get rid of the gingiva. And it's fully segmented. And one interesting thing is that, hold on, let me get rid of the maxilla teeth and the maxilla. Okay, so now we have only the mandible. And actually, let me get rid of the airway. You can see also the airway is segmented. So now we can also play around with the opacity. Okay, so we can decide how much of the bone we want to see. Another interesting part is that I can say, okay, well, what I want to do is I want to take this tooth. Okay, so this is tooth 37, right? So I'm going to hide this tooth and I'm going to go to the opacity. Sorry, one sec. I'm going to go to the opacity and make everything fully opaque. And I've actually got a view of the bony socket, so I can see how that extracted tooth looks like when it's not present. You can even see that nerve underneath. So it's a very good tool to kind of accurately see what's going on. So of course, one of the things you can do is also view the actual DICOM. So there aren't that many online DICOM viewers. There are very few that you can actually access through a web browser. And this is unique in that it also allows you to see the DICOM viewer, but it also allows you to see the 3D images and slices and segmentation on the DICOM viewer automatically. So again, sorry for the slow internet. But the point is the DICOM is loading. And again, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter which computer, as long as you have access to the case, you can view the DICOM. While it's loading, another interesting, well, it's loaded, so we'll talk about it in a minute. But now you can see basically the DICOM, and you can see the different planes on the DICOM. So I can take this plane, and now what you're seeing is actually each slice with the segmented teeth overlaid on the slice. So I can actually drill through those teeth and see what each sliced segment looks like. And of course, on the different planes, so I can say, well, you know what, I only want to view it on the sagittal plane. And I can, yeah, I can take my different plane and move it around. Of course, you're not seeing the top part because it's not selected. So I can say, show me the max teeth as well, and show me the maxilla as well. And now you can see the teeth actually as we scroll through the DICOM. You can also see the airway and do fill all. And let me see the airway also over here. Okay, so now you can see the airway also in the 2D, and it makes it quite obvious. You've got some basic measuring tools, and you have the ability just to, if you want to show hide segmentation, or if you want to take away the plane from the segmentation view, you can do that as well. And here's all kinds of tools allowing you to play with the outlines and with the fillers, and you can say, well, I only want to fill, I only want to see outlines, and I want the outline thickness to be 1.5 and so on. You have different opportunities to play around with those features. And you can also take away the grid lines as well. All in all, it's quite a standard DICOM viewer. The speciality here is that it's again, it's everything's available by the browser. You can even look at the regular. So this is the actual DICOM image. I haven't seen that anywhere. The ability to actually see the original DICOM image, plus the kind of ability to filter. And if you want, you've got all kinds of extra controls and abilities to play around. But the idea is that we want to give all the tools to allow you to view your imaging. Another interesting option we have is hold on, let me view the DICOM view. Let's go back to the axial as well. So we've also got an annotation tool. So if you want to, for example, start playing around with the annotation and correcting annotations or moving stuff around or play with the actual anatomy, you can go into the annotation mode and build your own annotation or correct your own annotation. If we go into edit tooth mode, so there's a number of different ways to do this. Now we're editing this tooth, and we can also go into 3D mode here. And if we move a section, where is that? Okay, you can see that thing juts out also in 3D, and you can start really playing around with each layer. If I click the up and down arrow, it will move between layers, and so on and so forth. There's also the ability to play around with a paintbrush if you really want to, kind of delicately add features. You can do that. Yeah, so there's a lot of different features here. If you want to see the whole thing in 3D after your corrections, you can do that. And here you see your 3D correction. We want to look at the teeth number. There's also the opportunity here. And we can save this to the server, and the server will basically save our editing and allow us to view the edited teeth from this point going forwards. So there's a lot of different features here. We don't have time to cover all of them, but the idea is that you can definitely go in and edit stuff and play around with teeth and move anatomy. It's all available. Another interesting feature, sorry about that. So the other interesting feature is the fact that what we did here is we actually saved or uploaded an IOS scan as well as a CBCT scan. So what we did here is not only the IOS, let me just go into intraoral view. So the intraoral view uploads the IOS or takes the IOS imaging, which is quite standard. It automatically segments the IOS as well. Again, using AI, we're all about AI, we're all about automation. You upload the iOS and you get a segmented intraoral scan. But this is pretty familiar from all the aligner softwares. We're integrated with a few aligner softwares as well, so we know how to provide these services. And of course, you've got the ability to play around with some anatomy here and get different views and so on. This is the standard iOS with gingiva. And you got the upper and the lower arches. And there's, a bunch of different features here which you can play around with, and you can say, oh, I want to, again, I want to hide this tooth. I want to show this tooth. I want to look only with the root stubs. Basically, you can look at the teeth with the root stubs or just hide the gingiva and see the teeth accordingly. So this is quite standard. What's interesting about what we do is that we automatically stitched that to the segmented roots. So what we've done is we've taken the roots from the CBCT scan, automatically segmented them, and stitch them, okay, to the crowns from the intraoral scan. So if we look closely here, let's focus on the tooth here, right? So you can see that the crown section is very accurate. It's really taken from the intraoral scan. Of course, that has high accuracy with, several microns, 15 microns, 20 microns. And then the rest is the segmented root, which is naturally much less accurate just because CBCT has about half a millimeter, quarter of a millimeter, or rather several hundred microns in accuracy. But you get a very accurate picture of what's going on because we've stitched the two together, and now you have a full kind of representation of what's going on within the patient. So that's a very important section, and we're building more and more tools based on that. You have a bunch of different options here. You can do measurements, and you can do slicing and say, well, I only want to see a section and really kind of cut it out. And you kind of see a quarter section and so on. There's a lot of different options here. You can view from, of course, different angles, from the front, from the, 45 degrees and so on. And you can also export. You can export the IOS, you can export the CBCT, the segmentation as STL files. So you've got a lot of different options here. What's interesting is that you can also generate reports. We have a number of different reports that we generate based on the image that's created here. So I've just created what you call 8-in-1 report. And you can see it basically took that image that we created and put it in different angles and viewpoints. By the way, if you scan this QR code, you go directly to that image. So you can actually share this with colleagues, share this with patients, allow them to get a direct view into the case that you're working on, which is obviously of interest. Another sharing option is just clicking share here. You can put it in their name and email, decide which features, so you can prevent the recipient from downloading. You could give them a read-only view so that they won't be able to save anything, and a reset case, so whatever changes you make won't be reflected in their viewing. Because currently, if I look at a case like this, and let's say I'm just gonna put in a sharing link, and you can see it generated the link. So when I go to that link, okay, it's going to open it up. Well, not with the cutting, but at least with the angle and which anatomy we're seeing, the same as what we have over here. So again, it's only going to show the mandible with the selected opacity at the specific angle that we have the anatomy here. So that is regarding the 3D. We also have an ortho section where you can actually play around and move incisors. Currently, we're just coming out with it next week, so there's no real point showing it right now. But the point is, like when you build stages, you can play around with the anatomy. You can move tooth around individually and get the changes in the gingiva, and then accordingly save the stages and see a video of the stages playing. So there's a lot of different features available. Let me see how we are with time. Yeah, I think we're pretty good. Another interesting feature. Well, before the interesting feature, again, just want to reiterate that you can download um, all these images, or really all these FTLs, as a zip file that comes down as a zip file, which downloads, which you can then either import into other software, or that you can uh, just view them with a local viewer, like you have Mesh Mixer and you have Blender and all kinds of viewers that allow you to manipulate and play around with STL. All these files are STL based and can be downloaded as such. Um, one other interesting part is that I think worth discussing is the Airway view. So the Airway view basically allows you to look at the airway of a patient. Actually, let's select another patient with the Airway view. So we're going to load this STL. And again, in this case, I don't think the iOS was uploaded, so you only have the segmentation of the CBCT. And the internet is doing its thing right now. So gonna have to wait patiently. But yeah, once it gets a burst of energy, it likes moving at a more normal speed. Um, So yeah, so first of all, you can see this is a case with only the segmentation of the CBCT. So you can see that the crowns are less accurate naturally because you only have the limit of accuracy according to CBCT. By the way, this is always a great view to see the interface between the nerve and the molars or premolars or wisdom and so on. There's a lot more cases where these interface than anybody would have expected. It's very obvious once you have this kind of viewer. Yeah, it's quite easy to see. But anyway, this is a good sample Airway, just because in this Airway view, you can see that this is a very limited airway. Um, so we've got the slices of the minimal area slice, which is usually the most important one. It's really easy to show the patient that there's a very, very small airway here, and you can change between the different slices. At the top, you see the total volume, and what's I find the most interesting is just the area of the minimal area, right? So here it's 50 square millimeters. That's pretty tight, and we will actually alert you. You see this little triangle, alert triangle. It tells you that there might be a constricted airway here, so you might want to take a look. We also have a designated airway report, which you can download. And where are we? Downloads. Okay, so this is the airway report. You can see it's 50 millimeters. You can see this is really, really thin. On the width, it looks okay, but on the kind of left, right, it doesn't look that amazing. Sorry, the AP, it looks less appealing. And of course, the most important one is the minimal area slice, which is where you can really see that this is a very, very small airway. It can help you clinically. It can help you convey to your patient that they might want to check sleep apnea. And again, all the related services that are kind of entangled in these findings. It's, of course, much easier to say to a patient, this is your airway. You might want to check it out. And it's not me, the practitioner, it's the computer showing you. So, take a look. These things are very, very good for patient communication and case acceptance. They work wonders. And the same way with just with the 3D viewer. So going into the 3D viewer and being able to say to the patient, well, this is your anatomy, and we might, if you have like an impaction or if you have wisdom that you need to extract, it's very convenient to say to the patient, this is you. We're looking at this tooth. or this tooth, and we might need to extract it, or we might need to move it. Very, very convenient. So yeah, important point. You can upload a CBCT, and it will automatically generate first of all, a Ceph. So it will pull out the correct slice, but it's not only one slice, it's like a mesh of slices, because an X-ray is naturally a mesh of bone. And then what it will do is it will automatically also do the Ceph tracing for you. So if you want to upload a CBCT, or if you want a Ceph tracing and you don't have a Ceph arm, you only have a CBCT, not a problem. You can upload the CBCT, and it will automatically generate the same Ceph that we saw before and the same analyses as before. Irit, did I get everything, or do we need to add anything?
Yes, I think that we can go ahead for the Q&A.
Yeah, so firstly, let's go ahead and ask, everybody who wants to ask, please go ahead. Just unmute yourself, and you're free to ask any questions with the time that we have left. So, does anybody have a question? Okay, no questions. Irit, did you want to go over some issues that maybe are worth discussing?
If anyone wants, you can also send us on our chat here. It's also a possibility. Maybe we can talk about like which machines do we integrate with?
Sure. So yeah, we integrate with a number of different types of machines. Firstly, anybody can send us a exported DICOM from any machine. So that's always a default. Every machine has the ability to export a DICOM as a DCM file, or as a directory, or as a zip file, and that can be uploaded. Other than that, we have direct integrations with, again, some of the leading manufacturers, Cephala, Dentsply Sirona, Planmeca, and a few other manufacturers, but those are like the main large ones. So if that's interesting, or if you have any questions about that, you can always send us an email. What else do we have?
What about the customizable Ceph?
Oh yeah,
What
so we
types of
have it's a great question. We have a full analysis editor. Again, it's a section I didn't go into because it's quite elaborate, but you've got a full analysis builder here with a lot of different features and a lot of different ability to change and update also graphics and also measurements, and create new measurements and perform research and so on. The best thing is this is all web-based. So you can also just send us a template that you like working with, and we build it out for you and put it in your list. And then when you do export a Ceph, it's pretty simple, because you just go to the download section, and we'll be in the list of downloadable options that you can actually get a set an analysis from. So yeah, it'll
then
be
we
in
have
this list.
on our chat.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so we've got a couple of questions. So first of all, Dr. Mayer, thank you for the question. I don't know if we have direct integration with VADEC, but what you can do is, as I said before, you can just export it, or export any CBCT to a DICOM image. You should have it built into the VATEC software. And then I would say, if you don't have a CephX account, you can just upload it directly, or you can create an account, go in and generate an account. We'll give you a follow-up. We'll send a follow-up email with a promotional coupon, so you get an extra kind of discount. And at that point, you just upload it and directly to CephX. If you need help with that, just let us know. We'll send you the right tutorials of how to upload a CBCT. pretty simple. Just drag and drop into your browser, or we even have a desktop uploader that you can use, one or the other. So we have another question here from Sadyedra that wants a demo DICOM. Same thing. Just you can go to cephx.com, create an account. We will send you a promotional email that'll allow you to get an extra kind of discount. And then you can get a demo DICOM, upload it into the system, and see what it provides you. Another question here from Chamnan Nam. How much do we have to pay for the CephX software installation, and do we have to pay monthly? So yes, there's no real installation because this is all browser based. So that means that you just go in, sign up like you would for any online service, and we allow you a few free cases. The monthly cost, there is a monthly cost. So that's really the only cost. There's no installation cost in monthly. It's only monthly. The monthly cost depends on which services you want to use, 2D or 3D, and also depends how many cases you want to send. When we send that email, we will also send you access to the pricing page, which will tell you exactly how much each plan will cost you through sending 2D, sending 3D, and sending multiple cases. So superimposing two DICOMs, we don't have that option yet. Important to say. We're working on it. It's definitely in the roadmap because we've received quite a few requests. But yes, once we have it, we will let everybody know. You're asking also about a per case payment. We have that option. So if you want to buy per case, you can. There's a minimal cost of 10 cases that you can prepay for. And you're welcome to send us an email, and we'll send you instructions on how to get started that way. Okay, so the demo DICOM is part of the trial package. We will send you a follow-up email with a link to sign up and get some free cases. You can upload a DICOM when you do that. And then the pricing is actually in a separate link that we'll send in that email as well. Yeah, I don't know about other software that can provide this. Seg3D definitely doesn't do anything with the AI. It's kind of a manual thing. Yeah, again, we either have the prepaid package, which we can send you. If you're interested, send us an email, or we have the monthly package, which is cheaper, obviously per month, but it requires a prepayment. Oh yeah, I see a last question here. We don't have any relation to metal artifacts. It really depends on the CBCT quality. Some CBCTs are very poor when they see a metal artifact, and some are very good. So it really depends on the quality of the CBCT. Okay, guys, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. And if you need anything else, again, please send us an email and we'd be happy to help.